Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are cold for energy. Send it.
Incoming!
Put the money in the bag, man.
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by OmahaSteaks.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros, kids. Live from Phorm headquarters here. Got our very good friend Derek Weida back on the show today.
It's good to be back.
Hi, Derek.
It's been a while.
I've missed you.
I missed you too. This is nice.
I've missed you.
I have missed you. This is going to be fun.
This is.
Yeah.
I mean, you were part of the network for a long time. We love Savage Saturdays.
Yeah,
that was
Fuck.
one of our favorites, dude. And the audience has always requested, like, what happens?
Yeah.
And I said, look, Derek's going through some shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're going to let him have his space and his time and everything else. Because at the end of the day, your personal life, your relationship with your kid and your family and everything else is way more important than a podcast.
It is.
And so I said, hey, you figure it the fuck out. And
Yeah.
and then you pop back up and you're like, good, I'm on the other side of this now.
Yep.
And life is great. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, when I saw that picture of you smiling, it had been a while.
It had been a while. It had been, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it had been a while. Felt like a long time. It was
did.
a long time.
And look, life happens. Divorce happens. Kids happen. All that other stuff. A lot of people don't realize you also moved your family.
Yep.
Near you. That's
Yeah, it was a busy few years, but yeah, but now, the last year or so, I do feel like built like a new foundation. Got a new foundation. Got a wife, the kids, So yeah, you got to go through stuff sometimes, and
But you look great. You
Thanks,
look
man.
happy.
Thanks.
You look healthy, and you've always had a smile on your face, whether or not it's real or false.
Yeah.
And you're one of those guys who's so positive, and just even being in the building. Like I know you can't see it behind you, but people are pointing at you. They still love you. Everybody loves you. You're just not as active on social media anymore.
Yeah, and that and I when we can talk about my leaving that and whatever, I do absolutely plan on returning and being more public and active someday. It's something I miss for sure. Mm-hmm. I just getting a few things in order before I return to that part of life, So.
And here's what I personally loved about it is there's a lot of people who live their entire life every second on social media. I got to shoot this, and this, and you see cameras going off here. And it's the people who aren't afraid to take a break and be like, you know what, man, social media isn't my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's not real life.
Yeah.
It's what I'm showing you.
Yeah.
And you've always been honest, and I think that's why you built such a huge following and everything else. But also, if it was about the money and the fame and everything else, you would have stayed.
Yeah. No, I was, and when I say I miss it, like the thing I miss is like being just interacting, like, because I do, like, I like talking to people there too, and like when I post, I'm not just like fucking talking to myself or something. It's like sharing. It is social media,
Yeah.
But then also like what I was doing, and being useful and helpful to other people that brings some meaning to my life. So I miss that, you know, being more private here. Like, yeah, I spend a lot of time, you know, working on like, you know, my personal life, my personal goals and family and stuff. But like, I'm getting close to where I'm ready to like, I got something to give again, you know, like some energy to give. So yeah, that'll be nice.
What are your personal goals?
Well, I mean, right now, I actually 2 days ago, I qualified for the adaptive CrossFit Games this year.
Wait, what's it actually called?
I call it the Cripple Championship.
There you go.
Like fucking Cripple CrossFit.
Wheelchair!
Yeah, the Cripple CrossFit Games.
Do you know how much more marketable it would be if they call it I mean, obviously you can't say CrossFit.
Well, and there's
that's
like 15
trademarks.
divisions. So like I said, you call it the cornucopia of fitness, or that could be like the poster, and it's just like a bunch of different. It's like me.
And then you can make an
the
actual
short person,
cornucopia,
wheelchair.
like
Yeah.
you can make an actual cornucopia, like the old Fruit of the Looms logo.
Yeah.
And put all the dudes in there. It's super gay looking.
Yeah, I catch people off guard like that because, like, you know, at the gym, you know, I was like, "What? You never seen a cripple before?" Like, I put my stuff in the gym, and it's like, "This is the cripple corner," and people aren't like, "Oh, like, not yet. Oh, cripple."
Oh, no,
it's like, yeah,
he's a
I'm
cripple.
yeah, for real, you know, and I tell that to the mm-hmm.
I think you should add a Greg Abbott challenge where you just run against some trees. If you lose, you lose, and then that's what happens, right? There's a chair at the end, and it's like, sorry, you're out. You know, and if you can make it through, you can make it through. Just spice it up a little bit. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah,
you know. But how does the training going? And what are you in right now?
Wait, didn't was it Sonny Bono that ran into a tree as well?
Yes,
On skis?
skiing,
but he died.
So
Yeah.
that's so
yeah,
Tree won.
Well,
the tree won in both cases.
live dangerously. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I think the tree Olympics is what this is. It's man versus tree.
it's weird. I don't feel bad for
Wasn't that in
Abbott.
Gates of Fire, the tree fucking training? Do you ever remember that where they lined the Spartans? So, you know, it's a
Oh
story,
yeah,
but they just lined them up.
I mean,
I
even
read-
so, we continue that too. You remember? I'm sure you. I definitely had to do this when I first got
Qualified? What do you
qualified.
Yeah, qualified.
You
Yeah,
have to. You have to.
I was at
like a
E2
koala
once.
bear.
Yeah, I was at
You have to
yeah.
hang on a tree upside down for a long.
Did
you
they-
You know who set the record was Banks. That kid was a fucking stud. You remember him?
I do. I remember the name. I can't put a face
black
to it.
kid.
Man,
That was
okay,
in our-
yeah,
in our
right. Yeah,
platoon,
yeah, okay.
He was
yeah.
like the last group of dudes that came in before you went over to Charlie
Did
Company, I think.
did the new DOD regime bring back hazing now? Or
I
like
fucking
it?
hope so.
Yeah,
I know
for real.
Hexeth. He likes to haze.
Yeah, okay,
like he
you
hazes
know,
his friends,
like
which is
some
what
good-
men are
yeah.
supposed to do.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I was teaching. I got Max and Jack are 6.5 years old now.
Your twins? Yep.
Yep. And Jack, I was having a conversation with Jack the other day, and he's like, my friends were making fun of me. I was like, okay, tell me what they said. I'm like, okay, that's not bullying or teasing. That's razzing, dude. Like, me and my best friends make fun of each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, my best friends, we just tease each other and stuff. And I was like, one of the important things in life, dude, I was like, today's word of the day is humility. I said, one of the important things in life is being able to laugh at yourself. And he was sitting there, and you could see his wheels turning, and he looked at me dead in the eye and said, I don't want to do that. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, well, this is one of
That's
those
the
things,
exact
like-
reason why you should do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I tried to sell it again. I was like, well, buddy, like, you will be happier. Your friendships will be better. If you learn how to do this, you'll have a better life. And once again, he just looked at me in the eyes and said, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
I was like, well, okay, buddy. But it was funny. He's like, I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm.
But with the CrossFit Games, is there specific challenges you're working for or at, or is it just an overall, hey, man, you've got to complete all the exercises and tasks, and then it's the best time, best score?
Well, that's so the CrossFit, the adaptive CrossFit Games. One of the things that got it's in Las Vegas this year, September 12th to the 14th. So that'll be
Wait, what's the venue?
the Westgate.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's I haven't been back to Vegas since I left. Since I moved, and so that was that was
It's good because there was
that
an active
excited
shooter
me.
in LVAC 2 weeks ago.
Which one? North Decatur?
The one, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that was my
Oh, you know the guy?
Oh, no.
Oh, shit, that was a buddy of mine.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't,
I gotta make a call.
you didn't see that shit? There was some cop with a fucking M4 posted outside. It was awesome. The kid runs out, and he's still got the gun, and the guy's just like pop, pop, pop.
No shit.
And then fucking one last safety round, pop. And I was like, when he fired that safety round and made sure that dude was dead, I got hard. As
Yeah,
fuck.
I know,
I'm
stuff
like,
like
God
yeah.
damn it, please somebody fly
Oh,
a plane
he's
into
good.
a building so I can
He's
deploy.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's
yeah.
definitely done
Fucking
some
hell.
shit.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking just like calmly safety checks some dude like that in the back of his head unless he's killed some people before.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that thoroughly. Anyways.
Yeah. So you know, the adaptive CrossFit game. So it's like it's a 3-day competition.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably going to be like 10 to 15 events testing different things like strength, speed, gymnast, like high skill shit. And you don't know what it is.
Yep.
And that's kind of the part of managing that level of chaos is part of the challenge itself, you know. So it's cool. But
So you show up and it's whatever set up is set up? Because I see it on TV. I just assumed you guys got a map of the course beforehand.
Well, like,
all right, here's what you got to do.
maybe they'll release a workout here or there beforehand, but usually it's like day of type shit, and you gotta, you know,
That's
you just,
crazy.
just always be ready. You know?
Wow,
So that's
dude.
what, yeah. So
Because how do you know what to train for?
Yeah, especially for adaptive
train for
guys. Do you have
everything,
like
yeah.
different fucking prosthetics for different shit?
yeah. So actually,
So
like,
you got to just bring
that's-
your whole fucking your suitcase.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a golfer.
So the last time I competed, I won the championships in 2022, and I did bring a suitcase with 3 different legs. Like, just you know, you never know what you're gonna need. But
Do you have a caddy for something like that?
no,
Just make Abby carry all your
Hand me
shit.
the wood.
I got
Hand me that 3 wood.
I got an Abby now, you know, like, yeah. So, yeah, no, and it was, you know, it was like to qualify for the games, it's a several stage process, and there's like the open, and then there's semifinals, and it was like 2 days before the open, you know, I didn't know if I was ever going to compete again, and 2 days before the open, I was still like 30 pounds overweight, out of shape, but not in despair, like, you know, and I was like, all right, we'll try it, and my expectations in the open, you just had to be top 20 to move on to semifinals, and I was like, this is going to be weird, because I used to be like, or I was the guy, you know, I was like and then I was like, man, I'm going to finish like 15th or 17th and just have to keep going, you know, but I ended up finishing 3rd in the open, and then I landed 1st in semifinals, so it's looking good. Just stay my course and keep you know, training, but balancing that with, you know, I'm much more I don't just like shut down my life and leave my family and go to camp or something like that, you know. So yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing, and then
I felt like you used to. And I also feel like, you know, I've known you for years at this point, and this is the slimmest I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
Usually, you're a
Yeah.
lot bigger.
Yeah, and
is that intentional?
I fluctuate, well, some and some not. Like back when like 2019, I gained a bunch of weight because I was powerlifting. That was intentional. Man, after you know, so after about in 2022, when that's when I started, like, the CrossFit Games season ended that year, and things were different back then, and we were fucking jacked the fuck up, and I didn't make it. My season had ended, and I was going through the divorce at the time, and everything just sort of fell off, and I, like, 2 years doing like binge eating and stuff. So no, I fluctuated the last, you know, up to about a year ago. 2 years were pretty rough, but other than that, I trained for different sports and size differences, but now I am like smaller, but it's all like still strong. It's like good to go. I feel good.
You look great.
Yeah, my arms are like fucking pathetically tiny, and then you come to, like, you know, things like this event, and everybody's just fucking.
You see a guy like me, and you're just like, God damn.
Yeah, for real.
Holy shit. You're like,
oh,
all right,
shit.
Ross
I
is
thought
here.
I thought I was supposed to be the athlete.
Yeah.
No, fuck it.
I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, it's
One of the other things I want to ask you about, because I think this is why you developed such a huge following, is your honesty and everything you've gone through in your life, specifically with battling depression. A friend of ours recently took his own life, John Brinkus. And is that still something you struggle with?
Yeah, of course. And then you know, when you go to the VA, they ask you 12 different ways if you want to fucking die today, you know, and it's like, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing alarming. That'll always be, I think that's a part of me, you know. And then last year, I was about this time last year, actually, I was losing my handle on it. And so I did go to the VA, and I did a 16-week block of weekly therapy at the VA there, and it was actually cool. Like, I went through like a CBT program, like cognitive behavioral therapy, which actually has like its roots in stoicism and stuff like that. So it was useful to me at the time.
Psychology,
And then I got you know, and then I was like, okay, I'm level. I'm getting the fuck out of here, because you got to live a little bit too. So
of course,
yeah. So last year I was on Prozac for a while to mellow me out while I was going into therapy, and then, you know, I came out of that and just kind of coasted for a little bit. And then, you know, coming into this year, I was like, okay, I need to pick a goal, or like, what am I going to do? You got, you know, so, and we just, so it's the CrossFit Games now. And then I got another little project, and then I don't know after that, but we'll see, you know.
The next objective, somebody might call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe somebody would trademark
It's like
that.
it's like I figured it out fucking 10 years ago, but you keep forgetting. You know.
You said you felt it slipping. What does that feel like? Like at what point in the process do you notice it? I guess because we like guys like us when we don't have a clear purpose always have a tendency to slide a little bit, but it's not always obvious until way down the road that it's happening.
It's kind, so it's like when you're on a diet, but you can't stop thinking about cookies. But sometimes you can overcome that, and then sometimes you're like, fuck, I'm like the cookies are gonna win today. Same thing, but now the stakes are higher with suicide. When I feel like I'm losing the control, like I don't trust myself or I don't feel safe, I will always go seek help first. Like I don't just sit there and like I know how to manage like some thoughts. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were feeling bad about, or they were like shy and ashamed to say that they thought about suicide. And I was like, look, you ever been on a diet? They're like, yeah. I was like, did you think about cookies? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, it's just a fucking thought, right? Like, so it's not it doesn't have to say more than that. But to answer your question, like once I am not sure if I can trust myself enough, and it it's almost like a fear, like I don't have control. But at least over time, and I always know that like people at the VA are there. I call them up and it's like, hey, I'm not okay. I need help. I want to be better. I'm lost as fuck. And then these people are like, yeah, we do this every day. We got you. And they, and you got to do the work too. And you got to show up and do the work every week. But no, like, I got in there and unfucked some shit and good to go.
And the reason
so now it's just normal thoughts of suicide. I can deal with that.
Where you're like
depression, easy days. Despair, no good, bro.
Road rage,
where
you're like, I could fucking kill him and myself today. Like that's fine. Like that's okay. But the reason I ask is over the years, man. I mean, with this show, it's weird. Everybody who finds this show on average goes back and downloads 17 episodes. So people will stop Dan and I all the time and just tell us, man, Derek Weida saved my life. If you see that dude, will you just tell him for us, Derek Weida saved my life? And like, I've probably heard it, no lie, 50, 60 times, man, over the course of just the last like 3-4 years. And I was like, absolutely. Absolutely. And they said that they've reached out to you and they were like, hey, is he doing okay? And I'm like, I think he's doing fine. He is able to course correct pretty good.
I'm good even when I'm bad.
Yes.
So it's
And I go, when he comes back on the show and we see him and everything else, like it's like riding a bike and it's just picking up the conversation again. But I was like, I'll tell him and I'll let him know, and I'm sure he's grateful for it because there's not a lot of people who are honest about it. And I think you need more of that because for whatever reason we look at it like a weakness. And the time that I was going through it, just the one time in my life, Dan was able to tell me what it was, luckily, and I was able to see a doctor about it. First thing I did was invited the doctor on the fucking show to chat about it. So that way, if anybody else was going through it, like, all right, here's what happened, and hopefully this isn't happening to you.
No, listening to you talk there, it's like, and it's never been like, it's never been a strategy of mine. Like I didn't say like, hey, I'm gonna be like fucking talking about depression and suicide. That's my shtick. It's just overall like physical, mental health and stuff, like how to live a good life or something like that. And that's part of it for me. And as time goes on and like mental health, it reaches like, it used to be taboo or something, but now it's almost like everybody has anxiety, depression, and things like that, and not too much understanding of it or something. Like it's flooded.
Some of it is like a victim mentality.
Yeah,
and
so it's like, and so sometimes you almost have to like use different words. It's like, no, this is like real deal shit, and I'm not bragging.
Right.
I don't like it.
I'm not asking for sympathy.
I don't like it.
This is something we like to think of this as a more modern problem, but it actually started back in the early part of the 20th century. There were two schools of psychotherapy, Freudian and Adlerian, right? Adler is like, you got to take control of your own process, right? That's your work to do. Only you can control that. And Freudian was, well, there are these external factors that are causing your problems. Now, when you articulate it like that, especially in today's language, you're like, oh, Freud was a fucking retard. He was the kind of like that style of therapy keeps you on the hook for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
He was trying to create patience. Adler was trying to create success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I encourage anybody that's going through anything like this to look through. First, get your hormones checked. That's always number one.
Yes.
Number one, I don't give a fuck, male or female, get your hormones checked. But the second thing you should do is look into Adlerian psychology, particularly this concept of reframing. Reframing is a way that you change the way that your body takes in data, right? Your body and your brain, because it has a physiological effect. It doesn't just stay in your mind. It has a literal physiological effect on your brain, on your body, because of the chemicals that your brain secretes. So, for example, you're sitting at home, isolated, alone, have no goal, no purpose, and you think, I need purpose to get back on track, which is true, but you haven't gone to the root yet. The root of that problem is that you don't see intrinsic value in yourself. Mm-hmm. That's the root of the problem. So Adler would tell you that you need to find, discover, articulate, and live the intrinsic value of your own life. Now, in your regard, you've done it time and time again, serving your country, right? Even though you were a shithead growing up, so was I, by the way. We were both pieces of shit growing up. But serving your country and all of the people's lives who you influence in a positive way now, that is evidence of your intrinsic value. Without the purpose, you could have no purpose moving forward for the rest of your life and still have produced intrinsic value already. So it takes a lot of time, obviously, to do that, but that's something that I encourage people to look into, because it changes the way that your brain operates. Just like it's like putting on a different pair of sunglasses. Instead of seeing things this way immediately and then having to overcome it, you automatically see it the way it actually is and no longer spend your time overcoming things. And then you can start to thrive on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, that's, when you brought, like, where the fuck have I been the last 2 years or something? It's like I was going through that, but I was careful not to rush it, latch on to something fake.
Yeah.
Or, so I did, almost like exactly that, and maybe different words, but it's a lot about core beliefs, and you get to a point where I got to a point where I was like, and the situation I was going through when somebody hearing the opposite too much for too long or something, and you just wonder, maybe everything I do is I suck, and maybe everything is fake, and all my goals are stupid, and I'm stupid, and none of this is worth anything. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay, and try to build from there, know. And it's that's a tough hole to get out of. But sometimes it's almost like sometimes I have to go there to remember why. It's okay to do, or fuck, it sounds like some pussy shit, but it's like I have to remind myself that it's okay to be me, and I'm not a fucking bad guy, and I don't mean bad or something like that, but exactly that. And like I was saying, like last year in the therapy, and I've known this before and stuff, but like the core belief thing, that's kind of like the reframing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a daily meditator, nothing crazy, it's like 10 minutes a day. I just like I use that Headspace app, and that helps with all this stuff, and it's kind of just the reframing. They have the 3 C's: catch it, check it, change it. That's almost kind of like So
But the reframing, you're trying to get ahead of the catch it part, right? Like you're trying to change the way your brain receives data. So Adler called it private logic. Faulty perceptions is what modern people call it, but he called it private logic, in that you're the only person who actually thinks that, right? You look at the totality of your life, your success and all that stuff, and you are literally the only person that sees it as a failure, right? Private logic is what he calls it, but it's wrong, right? But you were wrong about, like you learn a new skill or a new fact. You were wrong about that thing before. Now your brain knows it. You can teach yourself this stuff the same way that you can teach yourself individual facts.
And that's that's something when you say, oh, you meet people that said Derek Weida saved my life or something just by what I did. So when I'm at home feeling like I'm worthless and everything I do is for the wrong reasons or something like that, hearing things like that is like, well, actually, I'm just like a fucking regular goddamn guy, and trying to.
But everybody's looking for inspiration or something.
Being able to have a positive impact, just because that means something to me. I don't, I don't know what. It doesn't, that's not my focus in life. I'm not here. I don't do what I do to save people. But if it or even but if it has that impact, that's a fucking good thing. And I guess that's what you were saying there, like having that when we're lying to ourselves, having those facts to look on, like, no, it's all good. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, because you look at what you do for a living or like an Instagram, right? And you're like,
yeah,
the fuck, dude. I'm on Instagram or I'm showing my workout or whatever. And we deal with this all the time too with the podcast, where it's just like, hey man, the podcast helped me and all that other stuff. And it's like, it's a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
And
Well, the weirdest one for me is people in our comments all the time. Anytime I say anything about fat people, we will have people in our comments section saying, I was a fat piece of shit and you shamed me into stopping that.
shame works, man.
Yeah, I know.
And like, back
Like,
when
that's a weird compliment to receive, though.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's like, where do I put that in my fucking library exactly?
I shame myself into positive action. So like, how can I, if you're like giving honest advice to people, and I, my wife, she's trying to, I don't know how to say it, like level up a little bit, as like she's close to like a next stage of being who she wants to be, and I can be, and I'm fucking honest and harsh and things like that. So I have to follow up a lot. Like, hey, look, I love you. Like, preface it with like, this isn't like me. This isn't a critique. This isn't judgment. You just say like some honest thing. Like, shame works. It's like, that didn't taste good, did it? Like, no. So it's
and women have it way worse.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because they're more self-conscious than dudes are in a way. And like, I was going through this with my wife, where we've got 3 kids, but she's been pregnant like every 2 years, right? And it's trying to lose the baby weight, trying to do the things.
Yeah.
Finally, she gets back in shape, and everybody else online is just like, oh, well, you got to be on Ozempic or something like that. And it's just like, no. She's been pregnant for 10 fucking years now at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
and
also been
finally-
like a long distance runner her whole life, so her
Yes.
body's built to be small like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna hear that, and
Yeah.
it's unstoppable on the
Yeah.
internet unless
But
you turn the comments off or
I
whatever.
remember years ago when Owen and I were making a video to promote some training programs or something like that.
Owen lives in
like,
Texas now.
Yeah.
He fucking left you, dude.
Yeah, that's okay.
He abandoned
well, I knew I was a stepping stone out of the gate. Yeah.
But he was doing
Yeah.
he was doing Savage Saturday and also that cooking show you were doing. Right?
Yeah. So I actually met him. I was taking a shit at LVAC. There was no active shooter that day. I was taking
Not that you knew of.
I was taking a shit, and back then there was like Drinkin Bros business or something. So I was just scrolling on my phone.
still
and,
there.
And some dude was like, hey, I live in Las Vegas and I'm trying to learn videography and I don't have anything to fucking film, and I can only get my kids riding their bikes so often. And I wasn't like looking to do anything at the time or something, but I was like, I'm okay in front of a camera and got some stuff. You can film me and fuck around and learn your craft. He wanted to like learn how to be a videographer.
He's turned into a pretty good one. Doing some pretty high level work.
Yeah,
now.
but
yeah.
So when we tried to
That's
make
awesome.
we were making a video to promote the training programs or something, in my verbiage, it was about like overcoming adversity. And I've never like put money into social media except like a couple times, and I tried to just like boost a post to my following.
Yeah.
And they shut it down, and they're like, you can't, this goes against our rules. They're like, you can't try to encourage people to overcome adversity because it'll make people who don't overcome adversity feel bad. And I was like, well, that's kind of them talking to themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? Like,
what does that have to do with me?
It's like, hey, man, I'm not shaming you. If you feel shame, that's you talking to you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, listen to that.
That's
and
what
you
it
know
is.
what? Listen to that shit. Don't be mean to yourself, but listen to it. And then, as best as you can, try to like take that voice's advice. Like, is it hard? Yeah. But like,
there's
like the good life is on the other side of that. You
Yeah.
know, so
It is.
Everything you want in life is there is pain between you and that thing, right?
Yeah.
And you get to choose how you navigate that pain. It's up to you. You can dose yourself up with shit. You can try to go around it or fucking under it or whatever, or you could just be a fucking man.
Even trying to avoid it is pain. You know,
Yeah.
Like
in this context, if you don't want to be criticized for your appearance, you can change it or you can stop listening to people.
Yeah.
Those are your 2 options. Now, if you feel like you're fine and you don't need to change, then you've got to fucking develop some thicker skin, my friend.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people are not going to stop talking shit.
And it's hard to go all natural, like the Liver King, for example, and just
What is he? What is he up to these days?
Oh, glad you asked.
Yeah.
Just finished that doc on
Oh,
Netflix.
is it? Yeah. I'm watching a Department Q. That's a good show.
It is.
But,
No.
yeah, okay.
Watch The Liver King.
Okay.
It's
Do I
only,
want to? It's
well,
like-
here's the thing. It's
okay.
only an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. Is it better than the Aaron Rodgers fucking?
I haven't
document?
watched that.
Yes,
Fucking
yes.
hell.
Okay.
Okay.
It is. It is.
Oh, God, yeah.
So you see what happens, everything that went on, how he built an Instagram following and all this other stuff, and like the amount of takes he was doing. I mean, it was like take 116, take 117 for an Instagram post.
Oh my God.
And he knew what he was like, hey, this is the way to do it, and this is the stepping stone for being rich. And for him, he admitted it. He just said, look, being rich was the goal, and that would lead to happiness.
Yeah.
He claims he was always happy in his real life and all that other shit. And, he's got 2 kids, a wife, and they sit on the land and eat liver, and then he does a shit ton of steroids.
Yeah.
But now he says he's clean, although he looks identical.
Sure.
And it's so funny to see that I think somebody like you would enjoy it because you know what it takes on a daily basis. And you and I used to talk about this back in the day when you were training and shit like that. I mean, God damn, dude, you basically have to work out, watch what you eat all day, sleep, and you don't have a fucking life. Who's the guy that kept winning every single year from CrossFit Games? He won like
Matt
7 years in a row.
Fraser,
Yes.
and then
Fraser,
Rick
yeah.
Warren
So
before
when
that.
Matt was
Yeah.
on, when he was on the show,
Yeah.
and I was talking to him about it, and I go, just walk me through your day.
Yeah.
It was the most boring shit of all time, where it was just like
It's hard, man.
work out, eat, sleep.
Yeah.
Work out, eat, sleep. Can't miss this meal,
Yeah.
this meal, this meal. this meal.
Simultaneously makes it extremely impressive and confirms that I would never even consider doing
No.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? And I do. And I was talking to Abby and I were cooking dinner last night. We were making a skillet, and I was like, "Hey, look, these next like 2.5 months, I just can't be your chef every day because like I gotta like I don't need like I can take care of myself and stuff. I just can't do any extra stuff right now. My leg, you know. But,
Yeah.
But it is like everything is it's when. And this might be my last year competing in CrossFit, but I just try to like go out on my own terms. And
Well, how old are you now?
I'll be 40 this year. Yeah,
Because you've looked the same for 15 years.
Yeah,
so
dude,
it's
when
like, you don't age
when
to me,
I know
so I
everybody-
never know your age.
People think I'm 28, and they
Yes.
treat me like a fucking 28-year-old, and I hate that shit. But
Really?
yeah. But
because you look great, but you looked exactly the way you look since the day that I've met you. You've
That is
been
kinda like-
bigger, you've been smaller,
Yeah.
but only for training purposes,
Yeah.
nothing else. And yeah, dude, you've never
that
aged.
sounds about but it like and but it is and I'll do there'll be something next. I got other like fitness is what I like. It was like fitness and training that led me to the military, not the other way around and stuff. So, but yeah, it is like it's weird, man, because like sleep, it's like my work day. And it's hard to explain to people what you do for work. 'Cause they're
No.
like, oh, you're napping during the middle of the day? That must be nice. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm napping because I'm in a calorie deficit. I already trained for 2 hours this morning. I got another 2 hours coming up. I'm resetting my brain. And if I
Yeah.
don't do that, I suck in training. And if I suck in training, then I suck at the competition. So it's a weird, and it's kind of like a little bit misunderstood or something like that. But, it's good. And I include the boys. We talked to them about it.
Since
Like,
they were
you guys-
babies.
Yeah.
They were out there. I remember you telling me, it's like you would just straight up tell them, hey, I'm working out. Don't interrupt me, but you guys do whatever you want.
Yep, big boy time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're good. And now, and so you know what's cool about that? So like the boys have been around me in the home gyms all the time and stuff. And if you go to a CrossFit gym, and there's usually like kids sections or something like that, but the kids are just like they're just all over the place, man.
Yeah.
But Max and Jack know how to behave and be respectful in a
Yep.
gym, and it's like but I what I meant was like I include them like, hey boys, I think I'm gonna should I try to go win the CrossFit championships this year? It's in Las Vegas, we could all go, and they're like, yeah, and actually, when your young kids say stuff that catch you off guard and like,
Sure.
so I was like, I'm gonna have to work hard and I'm gonna do my best, and it's like my goal is to go there and win. And Jack looks at me and he's just eating breakfast and he's like, even if you go there and you don't win, I'll still be proud of you because you did your best. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? It's like I'm glad that's your take on the world. I don't fuck with that, but like hell yeah, dude. Like it's either win or die for me, like yeah.
But the other
very
side
Ricky
of this,
Bobby.
Yeah.
but at this
Yeah.
age too, and you can tell me if this is true. Being an athlete, like everybody who has kids a little bit later in life, which we did, I feel like as an athlete, we hear this story all the time where they want to be able to show their kid that dad was once the best in the world at something.
Yeah.
And if this is your last time,
Yeah.
this could be the last time your kids get to see it, because at 6, they'll remember.
Yeah.
They'll remember the rest of their lives that dad was the best in the world at something.
Yeah.
So no pressure on him.
You know what? And like, hey, that is not, that's my driving force for like wanting to bring the boys to Las Vegas is so the boys play sports, and they're nice boys, and they're not like, they don't have I don't know, like the eye of the tiger, like that, like competition isn't like, they're just like, hey, let's all have fun. It's like, hey, that's great. And instead of telling your kids to be like, hey, come on, take it seriously, get tougher, do this, do that, it's like, what if I just showed them what it looks like? You know, bring them down there and like, just let them see, and they'll be like, that looks fun. Like, why does dad have that look in his face, or what's going on with these other people and stuff? Like, just let them see it. And, you know, a young boy, a man, responds to that kind of shit. And so,
how
like,
many
instead of telling them to do something, it's like, hey, come watch. Just come watch this. You know,
like how many dudes joined the military because of Navy SEALs and Black Hawk Down and so on and so forth?
Yeah.
Most.
I'm one of them. You know, I think
most
We Were
dudes.
Soldiered and Black Hawk Down, you know, and but it was a good fit for me, perfect. But like, yeah, you just, so like, I don't care, you know, fucking, you know, that's true. Like, I don't care if the boys, I don't need to be a champion for the boys or something. Like, I want to bring them so they can see what competition and that mindset and that intensity and stuff like that looks like. And then they'll be like, and then they'll know. And you don't gotta like sit on the sidelines while they're dilly-dallying around the soccer field, like, come on, fucking get, you know. So I think it'd be a good, and you know, it'd be fun. They'll respond to that. I think
They will,
so,
and if you if you win, obviously they'll remember it forever. If you lose, like, dad's a loser.
You know,
so
right.
Look, no pressure, as Dan said, but like, we don't want losers, and we also don't want to hang out with losers, and then your kids will remember that you lost in front of them.
I was like, Dad, you always taught us like winners eat and blah 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 blah. Like, what the fuck was that, man?
You lost, dude.
Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Well, and it'd be like, hey, well, you know, I guess it's not just about doing your best, huh, boys? So,
it's not. Win at all costs is what I say. But I've because I take my kids out all the time, and I coach all their stuff and everything else. But it's, yes, you want to have fun, but I also think teaching them to win is valuable as well.
Yeah, or just,
and showing by example of like, hey, here's what happens when dad works out this entire time. And then here's the trophy, and here's the end result.
Yeah, and I guess that's what it is. Like, the striving for winning requires a certain kind of living that is, you know, the good stuff.
It's effort and outcome, right?
Yeah, and winning, like, not just in sports, like just in whatever your endeavor is, you know, like that's like winning in your endeavor. Like, you know, you guys have a podcast, you want it to be a successful podcast and things, or whatever the fuck else, you know, you did a movie, you want to be a fucking number, you do a book, you want it to be number, you know, things like that. So the striving for excellence requires that I don't know how to say, like, higher level. So that's what it, you know,
it's
like,
the direct connection between effort and outcome that's seated in the base of your brain, right? Like, you know that, and this is another Adlerian thing, you know that the only things you can control in life are your attitude and your effort. Like, all this other shit's going to happen and you just got to eat it. You know what I mean? But you are the master of yourself, right? That's the first thing you should master is yourself, which means you without understanding this, you'll never do it. I can do X and affect Y, right? That is within my power. It might be the only thing that's within my power.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to exercise my power in any meaningful way, it's going to be in that regard with my effort.
Yeah.
Right. But you'll never get anybody to do that unless they see the outcome.
Yeah. And actually it's so like, and then the secret sauce of life is like chasing excellence and taking it seriously, but then learning how to have a good time and laugh and shit. So it's like, it is about fun when you're fucking winning.
Yes.
You know, like those two combined are like, you know, like that's a good, and like, you know, you lose but yeah, like a lack of effort is gross. And if you don't,
that's
unacceptable. So it's like, okay, there's, hey, we're here to win, or it's okay to have fun. Like what would make you put in more effort over here? And like, what the fuck are we, you know, I don't know. I like, you know, it's like, Yeah, I like effort.
Derek, you've been on the show a million times. You know we got some sponsors that keep this shit wagon on the air. First and foremost, our title sponsor, OmahaSteaks.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you an extra $35 off at checkout. Did you miss Father's Day, you losers? Huh? Seems like you did. Seems like you might have. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you should go to OmahaSteaks.com right now and change that, all right? Go get your dad some meat. Dads want steak. A recent survey shows 75% of Americans agree. There's no better way to spend Father's Day than grilling with the family. And if you messed it up, if you beefed it up, now's your chance to make it up to Dad. Shop OmahaSteaks.com. Give Dad the legendary Heartland quality he deserves. Get an extra $35 off with the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. Matter of fact, if you missed it, pop him in a subscription. That just goes to him once a month, all right? That's what I did. Okay? Omaha Steaks makes it easy to deliver an unforgettable gift either for Dad or for anyone else. For that matter, when you shop online and it just comes to your house in a beautiful styrofoam cooler that's ready to rock, Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by an unconditional 100% money-back guarantee. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness, hand-cut by master butchers. The fan favorite filet mignon has earned the coveted distinction of USDA certified tender, and their all-new smash burgers are built for the grill. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. They also carry mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, desserts, and easy-to-prepare comfort food. This Father's Day, give Dad the world's best steak experience with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for guaranteed perfect gifts that deliver legendary quality. For an extra $35 off, use the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. It's omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with the promo code Drinkin Bro at checkout. Drinkin Bros at checkouts. Check out their sites for all the different options you can order. Losers, if you missed Father's Day, go do it. Go over there right now, all right? Next up, we got firstphorm.com/Drinkin Bros. Love First Phorm. Matter of fact, here's how much I love them. I forgot to take them on microfactors today, all right? This is our daily dose of vitamins. I'm sure you can hear the plastic pouch here ripping right beside me. I'm going to take them live on air. I don't care, all right? Did this show live from the First Phorm headquarters up in St. Louis. These guys are the best in the biz. These microfactors, forgive me while I swallow them. Oh, yeah, and I'm squeezing the water in, too, to get them down. Come with the big six in them. Got the antioxidants, the CoQ10s, multivitamins, fruits and veggies, EFAs, and the probiotics. They come in this beautiful box right here. A little trap door that opens up. Whoopsies. Here's your vitamins. And then you just reorder every 30 days. It takes the guesswork out of it. It's fucking great. And they're also a protein company. These level 1 bars are the best in the biz. The new strawberry smash cake. My God, man, it's a fucking dream. Every single flavor over there is amazing. Carrot cake, peanut butter chocolate pretzel. My kids love the PB&J ones. They got peanut butter lovers. They got birthday cake. They got a ton of it. If you're still doing the powders, old school, I love that too, dude. When I was up at the First Phorm HQ blasting out sets at 225, I got close. I didn't finish a full 10. I'm not going to lie. All right? I'm not going to lie. Okay? A lot of people are still drinking the powder, and I love that too. Strawberry is my favorite kind. And then the red velvet was always everybody's favorite, apparently, and it's sold out. It is now back in stock, so you can get that as well. And their energy drinks are about to be nationwide in every single store. This company fucking rocks, man. I love it. They're one of those companies for real. If I can invest in them right now in the New York Stock Exchange, I would. It's excellent, man. It's excellent. The way that they're run is amazing. The way Ryan and Andy run that fucking ship up there, dude, it's a dream. And if you get a chance to go up there, I highly recommend it, man. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I was stunned
not only at their buildings and the quality of their products and everything else, but their whole setup, man. It's like walking into Dude Perfect, for Christ's sakes. I mean, full court basketball. It was awesome. Everything across the board is amazing. Go to firstform.com/Drinkin Bros today. Support us and support the show. That's what keeps the lights on. And as always, you're going to get free shipping on orders over $75. That is First Form spelled with a 1. That is 1STPHORM. Firstform.com/Drinkin Bros. Next up, we got AmericanFinancing.com/Drinkin Bros. Actually, it's .net. We got a .net on this one, Delco. I was incorrect. I fucked you up back there. That's my fault. I'll call it out. If I fucked you up back there. Look, it's been a crazy week here, guys. So, yeah, it's AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. Prices for the last few years have been and continue to be high. Most people, unfortunately, have had to reach for a credit card to cover bills. Credit card debt has reached an all-time high and it's trapping Americans. American Financing can help homeowners pay off high-interest debt by using their home equity. American Financing is a family-owned mortgage lender that's been around for 25 years. American Financing is licensed in all 50 states. Their mortgage consultants are salary-based, so there's no reason or incentive for them to put you in a loan that doesn't make any sense. Their customers, on average, save about $800 a month when they call and let American Financing help them. They don't charge any upfront or hidden fees to find out how much you can save. And again, those credit cards are charging you, I know I've said this on other shows, anywhere from 20 to 30%. Here, it's just whatever you have in your house. So right now, mortgage is in that 7% or 8% range. So you'll be saving 15% every goddamn month on these. So it's worth it, man, if you can pay it off. They've helped hundreds of thousands of homeowners, wink, wink, me, we've done this 3 times, create meaningful savings. It's reflected in their Google reviews, so check them out. Call today at 866-887-2275. That is 866-887-2275. Or go to AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. If you want to check them out on the Better Bureau Business thing, whatever that is, the Triple B thing, you can at NMLS 182-334 at NMLSConsumerAccess.org. That way you know they're on the up and up, for Christ's sakes. All right. Last but not least, we got Hillsdale.edu/Drinkin. Time is our most precious commodity. And let's face it, everybody who's hit us up is like, how do we get to be as smart as Dan? Well, you got to study, all right? You dummies. You got to brush up on things from time to time. At Hillsdale, it's a perfect place to do it. You can take history, economics, great works of literature, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution. And yeah, you probably studied all these things in high school, but guess what? We all need a refresher from time to time. And if you're sick of scrolling through TV shows or YouTube, through mind-numbing content, trying to find the answers to this, Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses. That's right, more than 40 free online courses. Learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of the Christian church. Hillsdale College's online courses are free. Personally, I know Dan's doing the Constitution 101 over there. It's a 12-lecture course, self-paced, to start whenever you want, wherever you want, and brush up on the Constitution, for Christ's sakes. Our country needs more Americans who understand the Constitution and can defend the freedom of American people against the encroachments of an increasingly large and unaccountable government. Start your free U.S. Constitution 101 course with Hillsdale College for free. Go right now to hillsdale.edu/Drinkin to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That is hillsdale.edu/Drinkin to register, or click the link in the audio and video description at hillsdale.edu/Drinkin, and it'll take you right there. Bob does it for every single show.
I think as your kids get older, because my oldest is 11 now, so like I'm able to see that change.
Yeah,
one of them's 6, one of them's 11.
The boys just finished kindergarten, so you can see the playground change them and stuff. Right, just kind of like coming into it a little bit.
And then they want to win.
Yeah,
like they understand what it is, and if they lose, like my middle son just lost the Super Bowl in Texas.
Yeah,
I mean they got it 6 years old. They're playing Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
And they lost by 1 point.
Okay,
right? And afterwards, Texas is ruthless.
Yeah.
They have a trophy ceremony right there in front of the other kids.
Yeah.
And he looks up at me, Jacker, and he goes, "Dad, do I get a trophy?" And I go, "No, you lost."
Yeah.
Like, and he goes, "Oh."
Yeah.
He's like, "You got to win." And I go, "Yep, you have to win."
Yeah.
And that's how you get the trophies.
That was so the boys are just wrapping up a soccer season here, and it has been like fun, and I encourage that shit. To be clear, I'm the guy on the sidelines clapping when they do. I'm their biggest cheerleader, and you know how kids sports are. But Jack was playing goalie, and we play soccer in the backyard and play goalie and stuff. And it's like, oh, have fun, yada yada. Well, some kids comes down and scores on him, and I could see him like look a little sunken, like something bad just happened. And I give him a thumbs up. It's like, it's all good. But like seeing him react that way, I was like, good.
Yeah.
Like, good. He's learning on his own. Just
Now you
like,
gotta
just
learn
by
how to
the
turn that into
experience.
anger.
Yeah. You know, he's like, we turn that into violence. You know, like for real, like use that shit. So, you know, it is fun to see. Yeah, it's fun to see like the little changes and stuff. It's like, oh, is your heart broken? Fuck yeah. Good.
Great.
Hell yeah. This is it. This is the lesson right there. You know, and I didn't even have to like say anything and hurt your feelings or be like a mean person or something.
Not
you
at
know?
all.
Life takes its course, you know.
And then going,
So it's fun.
the oldest going from 5th to 6th was the first time the other day we were at practice where he asked me, he goes, Dad, girls think football players are cool, like in middle school? And I go, they sure do, buddy. And I go, guess what? That'll go on all the way through high school,
Yeah.
college,
Yeah.
NFL, wherever you are, football will always be cool.
Yeah.
You know? And that was the first time he had asked about a girl or what
Yeah.
a girl thought and what they thought of this. So
Yep.
that's a whole different set
If
of
you could hear
motivation.
the kids, if you knew this kid, it would be even funnier because of the flat way that he asked questions like
Just
that.
matter of factly
Yeah.
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
like he went from not speaking to speaking perfect English almost overnight.
Yeah.
It was like a 2 or 3 month period, and now he just like look you dead in the eyes and flatly ask you questions about life. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. That's
And it's fun. It's fun to see.
Yeah,
Because on the flip side of this, like I'll coach kids who are just, I call them chasing butterflies, where there's no
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
Even and I know this sounds fucked
And
up.
you're just
but
like, where's
even,
your fucking parents? Where's your parents? Why
Right.
are they talking to you
No,
about
they're chasing
stuff?
butterflies.
They're chasing butterflies.
For real. Yeah,
Parents are chasing butterflies.
Yeah.
They're probably in a multi-level marketing fucking company.
And it's like, even as fucked up as it sounds, even at like 6, 7, 8, you can tell they'll never be good. They just don't have the drive for that. Not that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they'll go and create a fucking rocket like Elon or something
Yeah.
like that. But sports wise,
Yeah.
it definitely picks it up a lot earlier, and like you start to get that drive and motivation and work ethic towards things
Yeah.
at an earlier age.
Yeah.
Which is what I love about First Phorm and everything they've created here.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's not just the hottest, most ripped people.
Yeah.
Shit. There was a listener talking about this big girl who was behind Dan the other day when we were interviewing Andy Frisella, and
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it was just like, hey, dude, this is open for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just get healthy.
Yeah.
Be in shape and try
Yeah.
your best.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, by the way, you can become fat if you want, if you are from Scandinavia specifically, because their bodies don't develop visceral fat the same way that everyone else's does. But if you are not, and I mean
That was my 23andMe, like
I mean
German,
exclusively,
Scandinavian.
yeah.
So,
Was it really?
Yeah.
my family's from Denmark.
okay.
And then they came down through the British Isles, mostly Ireland, but through the British Isles. But if you're from anywhere else in the world, from the UK, if you're from Africa, if you're from India, any of these other places, Australia, historically, your body develops visceral fat. Visceral fat is fat on your organs, and it kills you.
Oh,
It leaches the fucking nutrients out of your body. It makes it more difficult for your heart to pump, for your lungs to inflate and collapse. Everything. It fucks everything up. Just don't be fat, right?
Try your best.
Unless you're a Viking.
You had
Yeah.
said something that made me I am a fucking I'm competitive in CrossFit right now, but just it's always been something for me. Like I'm a competitive and fitness is my thing, and I got 2 boys, but I don't I try not to I'm careful not to like project that onto them. Like if they don't have to strive for the things that I want or something or to be like high level athletes. It's not like I'm like, you're gonna fucking work out today, you're gonna fucking train today or something like that. You know? But it's sort of weird watching them because they're 6.5, and like I said, like there's little sparks here and there, but they don't seem to show that like competitive drive. Quite.
It's still too
It's
early.
still early, but,
it's still early.
And so, but I'm not like, I'm
I
not
don't do
I'm not
that
trying
either.
to force
Yeah,
that
me neither.
shit, you know, because it's like I read the Andre Agassi fucking book and like the Tiger Woods stories and things like that. I'm careful not to like try to push him into things too early or something like that.
Same, and
so it was nice to see him come back from kindergarten and see the way the playground changes him and stuff, you know. And yeah, it's fun.
Because then it's not dead, right?
Yeah,
so it's everybody else.
Yep.
And there's so many people that have just ruined their lives, or their dads have ruined their lives.
Yeah,
because they want them to be whatever that is.
Because some people will become competitive with themselves.
Yeah.
And they will be engineers, right? They will think of great things. Like he was talking about Elon. That Elon is only competing with himself.
Yeah.
He's trying to build the best thing that his brain can imagine. There are people that become great through that as well. It's not all about like, I don't give a fuck what you do.
Right.
That has no bearing on my life.
Yeah.
And you can't try to make it because it won't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I will say sports, military helps. The camaraderie, teammates, not wanting to let your teammates down, all that helps.
Yeah.
As you're going along through life. So it's all positive, but yeah, you can't push them at an early age. And you'll be able to tell. I always tell parents like 8, 9, if they got the drive or not, where it's like, you can tell. I mean, there's kids out there that want to kill each other at 8 where you're like, okay, cool. And I'll talk to their parents after the season's over and be like, hey, dude, they're ready to go to the next level. Or you can go ahead and stay in rec for a few years and not worry about it.
Yeah, bar league. Man, it's crazy. I didn't even know the distinction. So they just got new baseball fields in our town. And there's like rec league, but then whatever the fucking pro kid league or whatever
Travel.
the his.
Travel ball, yeah.
And you know what? I love my kids and I hope they play sports, but I'm not trying to make their sports my motherfucking life.
Yep.
Where I travel, or like I'm gone every week. Like my life is not what the fuck happened where the kids dominate the house all of a sudden? It's like, hey, just because I got stuff to do because I'm a fucking adult doesn't mean I don't love you or I'm a neglectful fucking parent or something like that.
Part of it's
like,
the parents.
I'm
though,
here
too.
all the motherfucking time, dudes, you know, but it's like I don't want to be. I almost like say that quietly. It's like I don't want to be the dad that's gone every weekend for my fucking 9-year-old's baseball games. Like, no.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that's
they
not
gotta
what I'm
love it.
try- yeah.
And but I'll say this: it's probably 75-25 in that realm where 75 is the parents who want their kids to do it.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, hey, you're going to do this. And
Yeah.
you're going to be the same thing that I did growing up. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
then that's not going to work. I
Yeah.
can promise you that.
Yeah.
Like, and it all evens itself out in middle school and
Yeah.
tryouts and everything else.
A lot of it is also kind of shitty marketing. So they market it as elite competition, but almost every one of those leagues is pay to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get invited to one and it doesn't cost you money to get into it, then you should take that invite. But if
Yeah.
you're paying a bunch of money to get invited to this thing, then you've been duped.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
And
when
yes,
you get there, you'll know in tryouts
yeah.
too.
They're
And
telling you your kid's going to be a professional athlete because you just paid them $10,000.
Yeah. And I guess I got it nice. Got the twin boys, you know, so they're in the but you got kids different age, and so I sit on the sidelines and talk to the other parents and like, yep, we got to go to this one's football game and then this one's that game, and it's like, fucking hell, like
Yeah.
that's a
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
One of the
yeah.
advantages you'll have, though, is because they're twins, it's mandatory that you have to take both of them on the same team.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they don't want to split up the travel
Okay.
schedule. And so, one of them plays basketball, and the team that won the championship was these twins. They were whites.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what am I missing here?
Yeah.
And one of the coaches was like, they've been playing together their whole lives.
Yeah.
So they know each other inside and out.
Oh, yeah.
And they're able to dominate
Yeah.
sports. And I was like, shit, man, I never thought of that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Max and Jack are being split. They were in the same. They've been together. They've probably been separated an accumulated 24 hours their whole lives. They've just always been together, you know. And I think that's a cool thing. Coming into first grade, they're going to be separated for the first time, and I was not cool with that. And it's happening, and I don't like that. Like all this shit about separate. Like, just it seems like we just keep trying to break down the family component in our fucking society more and more and more and more. You know?
Did
It's
you
like,
go into school and bitch?
Well, I got blindsided, and I didn't like look at me, you know, and so I control, you know, my temper and my words and stuff like that because I'm already, you know,
It's an aggressive look.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was I didn't Nah, it's still obviously
It's a resting J6
didn't-
look.
I
And
didn't-
you know, when
yeah,
a guy like
yeah.
you walks into
Yeah,
the building and says,
yeah.
"Hey, you're not splitting up my kids,"
Yeah.
chances are they're going to back down.
It's gonna happen. We'll see. You know, there's always like the year after talk about it or something. But I just don't like that. I don't like this. And it's not like I'm trying to. But it's like you got the numbers. That's family. That's your brother. That's your fucking brother and your best friend. Like why the fuck? They're like, well, it could be a distraction or not make other friends. I was like, do you see that being a problem with these two? They're like, no. Then why the fuck? Why?
Yeah,
why?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
is it just like break the family apart? Break the family apart.
Yeah.
Be a fucking individual. It's like I get it. That's like what America chokes on, but like not
Well, not really.
Yeah, but,
Not really. Like we respect individual liberty. The individual has agency and liberty of their own and natural rights of their own. But we are also biologically programmed to serve each other. Every meaningful thing you do in your life will be in the service of other people. That's a fact, right? Nothing you do for yourself will ever matter unless you're doing it for yourself to make yourself better to do shit for other people. It's the only time it'll ever matter. So this idea that we have to go out into the world and operate individually, I don't buy into that. I don't buy into it in relationships, like romantic relationships either. Oh, you've got to be good on your own first before you can be good with somebody else. That is absolute
yeah.
horseshit.
I drank that Kool-Aid
That's
for a little bit, and
that's so
it fucked
fucking
me up.
stupid.
And I was like, "There's nothing wrong with
we're
relying on
binary. We were
someone."
made.
Yeah.
We were made in pairs. we were literally made in pairs. We are binary creatures. We are meant to be with somebody else and share lives with people like that. So this idea that we're going to be happy alone is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. And I just don't buy into any of that. I don't know why they would split your kids up like that. That's weird.
I don't either, and I think it's one thing the Mexican culture has down pat.
Yeah.
Where
Multi-generational
yes.
houses and
Japs
stuff.
too.
I was
The
watching.
Japs do it really well.
I was watching a comedian, and he was. I don't know. He was like South Korean or Japanese or something like that, or no, maybe whatever.
Some kind of
He was
Chinese.
of the that culture, and he was up there on stage talking a joke. He's like, and I send money back to my mom, and he was like, yeah, that's a foreign concept to you motherfuckers, huh? Me supporting my mom financially. That's just what we do. It like you take care of your young, and then and then it goes up. And I was like, fuck, we really, it's like, and I was like, that'd be a weird thing if I was just, my mom's 62 and she's still working. I'm not giving her money, but sometimes I'm like, should I be helping my mom
Yeah, you
out?
need some help?
It's like just so she can retire and like live comfortably and stuff. It's like fuck. But yeah, like the Mexicans, they got the multi-generational houses and stuff like that. Like that's not that said, like I like having sex with my wife without my mom upstairs.
Sure.
But
Sure.
But I get it.
It would be a power move to make her listen.
Yeah, to make her watch.
Like you're
You
stunned
know,
on
like,
her.
hey, mom,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
living with me.
Yeah. Can you
And
flip the potatoes?
Yeah. I need you to come down and film this.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
But just for your situational awareness, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but in the middle part of the 18th century, so the 1700s, the average
Tim
Where'd he
Kennedy's flicking us
Oh,
off.
is that who that was?
the average woman had 6.8 children, right?
Okay.
A lot of them died,
Yeah.
but they kept some of them. Now, every child, except for the last one, heard mom and dad having sex because they also lived in one-bedroom one-room houses, right?
Yeah.
So unless they were doing it while the kids were out on the farm or some shit, they were fucking at night with the kids on the other side of a building, maybe this size.
Man,
right?
imagine the 1800s too in like Atlanta.
And the
Yeah.
stink.
And that
Or,
heat, dude.
you
You
know-
could smell your parents having
Yeah.
sex.
Or just
yeah, it
like
smells like
from the
cat
other
food
room.
and ass.
dudes,
Oh.
like community toilets, dudes are shitting it, like and just
Oh,
holding
yeah.
the conversation and stuff. Like, it's all
They've been doing
Right.
that since Greece.
Yeah,
like
I know.
3,000
Yeah.
years
Mhm.
almost.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
just like close it. I'm still
I still shit in front of people.
Yep.
LBJ did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lyndon
I think-
Baines Johnson.
Yeah.
He fucking made people. He would take meetings as president while he was taking
On the
a shit.
shitter.
And he had his like staff guy right there taking notes while he did it.
With your partner, are you taking a shit while she's in the bathroom?
No,
though?
there's gotta be
Like,
something.
That's the
There's
the-
boundaries.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's
It's
a
gotta be
hard.
something.
That's like my one.
That's
hard
for
rule.
me.
And
Shitting
Abby
is
has
for
the
me.
same rule. She's
Yeah.
like, don't fuck with me. And you know what? You know what I love a lot of things about Abby, but one of the things is like, well, fuck, I don't. Yeah, she's like a dude. In our, she's just like kind of like same rules, same relaxing amount of time. It's like she respects the rules. But I've had friends that are like, yeah, they act like I'm weird because I don't want to fucking be shitting while my wife's right there in the shower and we're
dude.
holding the conversation. Like, what do you? doing today? You know, like, no, I don't.
No.
That's,
I don't even
that's
let mine admit that she does shit.
Yeah, I
don't believe in that
about
shit.
it, and like I don't ask about it.
Yeah, I
My
don't
wife
believe-
always says, "Let's save some romance."
Yeah, yeah.
I don't believe
and
in
we
it.
just won't ask each
Yep,
other.
yep.
You know?
Yeah, Abby's like that too. She's like, it's like, nope, we got to keep it. This is one of the things. We just, reality isn't always good.
I don't know
It's
that
like-
that's something that is old school though. I feel like the greatest generation and prior. I remember my grandparents asking each other about my grandmother asking my grandfather about his stools. It was a health concern. 'Cause he had prostate cancer
Really?
at some point.
Well,
She's like, how are your stools? I'm like, oh God.
yeah, I don't want to hear that either.
I'm 12.
Yeah,
This is the worst day of my life.
I don't want to hear that either. But there was a family house that was in our family forever, and my grandparents had it at one point and everything else, and like there were separate beds up there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
God damn, you were sleeping in twin
Yeah,
beds
because they want
next
to
to
sleep.
each other.
They want to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't want this. I don't want this old bitch fucking waking me up.
I was
Yeah.
shocked by that.
So,
I was like, fuck.
You
All
know,
right.
I had to draw that with Abbott. We got a king size bed, but my portion is like, it's like 65-35 because she's up next to me, and I won't look at dead space. Yeah, no, I can see why people would split beds, but still be like, I love you.
I love you.
I love you. We're committed.
Yeah.
And and like sometimes we'll scoot the beds together, but like, yeah, man, fucking sharing a bed is tough sometimes.
I know.
Yeah.
When we go on the road, my wife will ask, just because the kids will get up or have bad dreams, whatever
Yeah,
it is, and ask to get in bed, and she's like, look, this is the only chance I can get for sleep. You just get the 2 queens.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the 2 queen
Yeah, yeah.
options so I can actually get some fucking sleep. And I was like, I get it. So I'll go in and say, hey, go ahead and give 2 queens, because I respect it.
Do you share a
'Cause
blanket? You guys
Yeah.
sleep with one big blanket? See,
Share
I'm
a
not-
blanket, but multiple pillows, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
wake up, and there's usually 1 or 2 kids in the middle at some
Yeah,
point.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Where you're just like, man, where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll feel a foot in the back, and
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, yep. Jack's our sprawler. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So that'll never change. And then as they get
And
older,
they just get bigger and kick harder. Good. Yeah,
totally.
fuck
But then it won't be cool to sleep with
Yeah.
mom, dad anymore. So
Yeah.
you respect that as well, because that'll all change. Where you're just like, all right, we're gonna do that, and if you want to have a sleepover, that's fine, and things like that. And then with shitting, if I know it's gonna be bad, I mean, I'll go to another wing of the house.
Yeah,
Like,
we call
I'll
it.
lock
We
that
have
down.
we have the Shark Tank. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we
You
have
got
the
a Shark Tank?
We got a Shark Tank.
I've
yeah.
got
yeah.
I've got my back turlet is specifically for dumps.
Yeah.
And I've got a really nice bidet in there too.
Oh, I'm not a bidet guy. Are you a
don't-
bidet?
I don't bidet.
I
I
don't
love it.
bidet. You dish the baby. I'm still using the same fucking baby wipes we used.
I tried the bidet.
I do
I'm a
like
dude wipe guy.
I do like dude wipes.
Does a
though,
bidet
on the
work if you
road.
got a hairy ass? I
So-
mean,
so
I got a hairy ass.
I don't have a hairy
feel
ass.
okay.
I don't have any hair on my body whatsoever.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're just like-
I don't even have one chest hair.
Okay.
So like, if you saw my ass,
Yeah.
it would look like your son's. You'd be like, "There's no goddamn way."
Same-
That's not the issue.
Same size too. It's weird. You can't tell when it's standing up.
Yeah. I mean, I was born.
It's like,
with
why
that
do you
ass.
have a 6-year-old ass?
I know. It's
weird.
I was born without an ass.
Yeah.
But with that,
See?
yeah, a couple dude wipes, and I'm good to go.
So
I
how
tried
does-
the bidet for a while.
How does the bidet process work? Do you dry yourself off with something afterwards?
Yellow towel.
Yeah, there's towels, or you can just use toilet paper too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the Mexican culture is weird to me, where they'll just leave toilet paper like in a fucking trash bin or out in the yard and things like that. So it's
You
okay.
couldn't leave mine.
Uh-uh.
I eat too much protein for that.
Yeah.
There's
that's
no
fun,
fucking
yeah.
way, dude. Yeah, that
That's
would be
funny.
a hazmat situation.
That
for
was
me.
when I had a one of the deployment I got shot on. Somebody had to cover their shitter on the ground. There was just like a dumbbell, like a 15-pound dumbbell or something. I was like, I'm taking that. It was like their toilet seat cover just covered the hole, and so I had
No fucking way.
I had one dumbbell that was somebody's fucking shitter cover. So that was
Look,
it was something.
You've got to
anyways,
make
you
do.
know?
We put
Yeah,
together
yeah.
like a makeshift gym in the top floor of that fucking place.
Mhm. Yep.
That was almost. That's gonna be 18 years ago now. A
Yeah.
little over 18. Yeah, we'll have known each. We met 20 years ago
2005?
in March, I think, or something, or
When
late.
did you
Did you guys serve together overseas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
Were you in the same unit?
Yeah.
We were in the same squad, a team actually.
Yeah,
When
we
I
were-
first got there, we were in the same team, in the same squad, in the same platoon, in the same company.
So you knew Jared and Derek
Yeah.
18 years ago?
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
met. Like, I mean, he and I already knew each other, but then we met Jared. What was it in January of 07 or
Yeah.
whatever? Yeah.
Mhm.
What are the chances that everybody ended up doing cool shit in life?
Well, that's how I got linked up with like Jared and stuff after the fact, because I just shot him or you know how it is, and I just shot him a message on Facebook. I don't know, in like 2013 or something.
Okay.
he
Yeah,
had
Jared
made
asked
some
me.
video, and I was just like, "Hey man, it's good to see you doing good. Like that was funny. Just like cool, truck on." And he was like, "Why don't you come down and visit us?" I was like, "Okay." And then I went down just to visit, like, and you know how things go. I wasn't looking to do any stuff or whatever. So like, I just knew him. Yeah. And then you guys were like good friends over there. I was over in Charlie Company on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Dan and I, like same. We like grew up together back then, like OG shit,
God
so
damn, dude.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
thing
it'll be 20 years and like I don't remember what month I got there.
Okay.
It was like because I went to I think it was early 06, March maybe.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And I
That'll be 20 years. That's weird.
yeah, I just celebrated my 20 years. Would have been a 20-year retirement last year. Yeah, this time last year. Yeah, so yeah.
Shit, one
time
thing
flies, man. People at this point, they're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Who the fuck?" Like, fuck, man. I got shot in 2007 at this point, and like, yeah, it affects me every day, clearly. But like, and I'm getting to the point where like you kind of forget some names or faces or like what was this acronym or what was this base or something like that, So yeah, it's funny. A long time ago, but
one thing I've always wanted to ask though is like, do you dream about that day, like ever? How does that work?
You know what? I never really had a problem with it. Like I knew what I was getting. Like I don't. Not everybody in the military exactly knows what they're signing up for or wants what they're signing up for or something like that. And what happened to me fit my worldview of like how things were, and so it was never like I've never been like jacked up about getting shot or something like that. Like if I was to think about it and see some stuff in my head right now, I don't get negative emotions about that. I really just don't. Like I got jacked up when I had to leave, like when they were medically retiring me. But like, and so yeah, I'll like dream about some stuff or something, and that is what it is. But if I have like negative feelings about it, it's like, oh, I missed like that kind of life. So that's
I just wondered if you had ever dreams about it. And I guess the reason I ask, I just watched that Pee Wee Herman documentary.
Okay.
And it's excellent, by the way.
Okay.
Did he spend a lot of time in war?
Tons. And that's the playhouse.
Riding his little bicycle around.
No, but he died of cancer.
Okay.
And didn't tell anybody.
Okay.
And so like
he was also pretty young. He was like 62 or some shit. He wasn't that old.
No, he wasn't old, but he had this weird nostalgia about his life, and I'm seeing it more and more happen recently, where he was a very extremely private guy, and he was like, I want to do a doc about my life. And then just sat and did it, and why, and everything else. And as I'm watching it, you find out later on that the reason is because something had bothered him in the past. He couldn't let go of it, and he thought about it every fucking day, and wanted to just get out all of his emotions and feelings and everything else. And I knew we were going to interview you coming up, and I'd wondered if you had ever thought about the same thing, or dreamed about it, or looked back and said, fuck, if I was 1 foot to the left or 1 foot to the right, or I didn't do this thing. And
that stuff is never, actually I almost have like a reverse thing. It's like I get so wrapped up in my day-to-day or the future or something like that, and I sort of like forget who I was or what I did and things like that. And when I remember, I'm like, oh wait, like, no, fuck all these like, whatever bad things you say to yourself about being weak or something like that. Like, like a weak motherfucker doesn't just join the army, go airborne, go get shot in a house raid and stuff like that. Like, dude, like, and not to like, I'm not the coolest, but it's like, you're a bad motherfucker, dude. So like, go ahead and like live your day today as one. You know, so it's like I forget more than I remember, and when I remind myself of that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
The follow-on to that is from Stoicism, and I think it's Seneca, and he says that the fact that you've survived so far shows that you can survive anything.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the well that you go back to whenever you need it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
that's exactly. Kinda like
That's
the
why it's
feeling,
important to remember that shit though.
Yeah.
Because that is the well you go back to in those times of trouble, right?
Yeah.
Like I get cold, I reach for a jacket. I get hungry, I reach for some food.
Yeah.
When I get depressed or self-loathing or whatever, I reach back into my memories and like, oh, I can do this. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of this, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything, obviously, because he died. Like we all know he died.
Sure.
But he made a recording the day before he died of, this is why I did this. Here was the regrets. Here was everything else. And you were like, holy shit. And obviously, you don't know you're going to die the next day.
Right.
But the fact that he did it, and again, I knew we were going to sit down and chat with you, and I was like, fuck, man. I wonder if you ever have that.
Well, some people
or
do.
I have
people-
moments of that because like I'm an elective amputee. Like I chose to cut my leg
took
off.
like 5
And,
years, too, to
Yeah,
get it
and
done.
like now when I'm having a rough go at it, I'm like, fuck, did I make the right decision? It's like stop that because it doesn't fucking matter one way or the other. And I was doing.
I mean,
my
just
best at
remember
the
that
time.
last Tough Mudder
Yeah.
before you got
Yeah.
it cut off, and you can you did the right fucking
Yeah,
thing.
but so like like little moments of that. But I see those thoughts. I'm like, fuck that line of thinking. Like get rid of So it's it's interesting.
Also, not sometimes people do know when they're going to die the next day. For example, the 19 hijackers on 9/11.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah.
They knew.
They knew, obviously.
Or they had
but
a suspicion.
We didn't. Yeah. And then the fifth plane we still don't know about. So, that's been going around. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Holy
That's
shit.
another 4 dudes. TMZ just popped it up again, but it's for like 2 years old.
You and I have been talking about it off and on, but they just did a doc about it. And somebody had asked me the other day, they were like, you know about this fifth plane? I was like, I've heard. I can't confirm it.
Here's what I don't believe. I don't believe that my government would lie to me. I don't believe that. After everything I've seen, I just can't. I can't bring myself to
Never.
bullshit.
Yeah. But with you and everything else, the CrossFit Games coming up, is this the last one? Are you done after
I can't say
this?
that for sure. Who the fuck ever knows? But I think the buckle down athlete life, or I like other stuff a little bit, or like more. So like my next year, Abby and I are talking about like. And I like to live intentionally, So it's like if I'm gonna get off this like competition wheel, then I gotta like structure my life in a way. So it's like
Got to
we're
scratch
thinking about-
that itch somehow.
Yeah, so I was thinking about going hiking in the Swiss Alps or something like that, and then I can like train because I like as an amputee, like I got to train to walk far or walk up hills.
Yeah.
And stuff, so I can like train for that, but it's a vacation with like good food and drink and scenes and my wife and stuff like that. So mend them together.
I got to hook you up with Mike Posner. Do you know who he is?
No.
What's that song?
Musician. Took a pill in Ibiza.
Took a pill in Ibiza. Sure, Ibiza was cool.
Send it to me. I'll check.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
send you
it's
the
a
song.
massive-
So
it
he
was a
he
massive
walked
song.
he walked across the United States.
Okay.
but he's like a Grammy winning pop star.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Super, like one of the sweetest dudes of all time too. I'll hook
But,
you up
but
with
he
him.
did it for the same reason where he was
Yeah.
just like,
he just
you know,
wanted to accomplish something.
Yeah, and not only can I work out and
Yeah.
see some cool shit, do some cool shit,
Yeah.
and
Then he
and it's
climbed
an
a-
excellent way to do it if you have the money to do
Yeah.
it.
And he climbed a mountain after too. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the big ones.
Do you remember was it Kilimanjaro? Did he do that?
I don't remember. No,
Or
I think
Everest?
I think it was Everest.
It might have been
I don't know
Everest.
if he went to the peak, but he went to the fucking base camp at least.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
like
look.
Abby, my wife, she's interested in doing like ultra marathons, and she likes the outdoors and mountains and hiking
Send her to
and
fucking
stuff like
Utah,
that.
dude.
Yeah. Well, that's where I met her. She moved from Salt Lake to move here. Yeah, she was living there. So this is like next year, instead of me shutting down and going doing this individual competition, it's like train and like we can like have a fitness goal of hiking these mountains, and it's up to Abby's speed, and we do it together and things like that. So it's kind of like
I mean, that's no
blending it all together.
It's
you
no
know?
different than fucking doing some cultural research and learning a little bit of language and going to Italy for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just like you're driven by that and somebody else is driven by experience and culture. So
Yeah.
It was Everest,
know what I
by the
mean?
way.
It was Everest.
and it was 20 months he trained for Everest.
Did he get to the top?
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
he reached the summit at 4:35 a.m. on June 1st, and then he walked across the
crazy.
entire United States. Has now climbed 70 mountains. Jesus Christ, man! And yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? So like this, I was gonna be done, at the time I wanted to be done competing in CrossFit in 2022, and I went and but I was going through the divorce that year, and I went and won the Wheel Wad Championships, and Wheel Wad runs the CrossFit Games now. So, but those championships, it was just sad, man, because I was just in a hotel room. It was just me and my coach, and like it was just us getting the job done, and I was like, okay, I won, but like fuck this. It was like fucking like fuck that. But now, you know, the wife and the kids and happier life and just feeling overall like it's different now. And like, you know, we go to Vegas and we do it together. You know, that's important to me. So like, you know, do this one and then I'm good to be done probably. If I pop back in 3 years just to see if I can do it, you know, whatever. But yeah, I as of right now, probably the last one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then in regards to First Phorm, since we're here, and obviously you're First Phorm athletes, does Andy give you guys, like, how does that work when you retire?
I'll
do you
always
stay on as a spokesman and all that other
yeah,
stuff?
1 million. And like you were saying, like First Phorm's open to everybody, right? So you do not have to be like a competitive athlete to be on the athlete roster. Actually, like very few are. It's you know, I've been with First Phorm for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I didn't start competing in CrossFit until like competing in like individual adaptive CrossFit until 2021. So I was, you know, no, I'll always be as long as I am like give a fuck about physical and mental health and like try to share that with people, like I'll always be here.
Yeah.
And
Like a
and
brand
a First Phorm
ambassador and all that
yeah,
stuff?
First Phorm athlete. Yeah. You don't have to compete to be a First Phorm athlete. Like they have different and you know, some of the old, like, you know, some of my best friends up here like Cunahan and Big Ty.
Yeah, I saw Cunahan
and
yesterday.
Marissa and
She's on the way now,
you know, the
actually.
Fails and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like they're not, you know, they're no.
I don't think
so
Marissa's
I'll always
ever
be
competed. Cunahan probably has.
Cunahan. I don't think he has because he's been a cop this whole
That's
time.
true,
and
yeah.
Stuff.
He's
and
still
like
a cop.
Marissa competed way back in the day.
Yeah, like
you know, yeah. So
2013
like
or
no,
14 or
like
something?
that's not what.
Yeah.
This is not like competition is my athlete life, and First Phorm is like my professional personal life.
Sure.
They're separate. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I'll always be. I'll always. You know.
Do you have your own
I'll always be-
office here and everything? Because
I don't. I tried. No,
Yeah.
no. This is no. So it's like you're. You know, when you're an athlete, you don't work at HQ. You don't work for HQ. It's like
Got a locker with your name on it.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's
like Derek Jeter.
Yeah, it's, you know what, the athlete gig is like, it's more money, less work, so it's kind of nice, you know, like
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Even my wife's working out here, so you know, they let everybody in.
it's a beautiful place to train. Yeah,
They let everybody in.
They
you
do.
It is.
know?
Yeah.
This is one of the nicest gyms in America.
Look at
Yeah.
her
For real.
bopping
Yeah.
around like this, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, and they're like, cool, come on in and work out. Like, that's how great it is here. Look, now's the point in the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the Week, which is someone who has inspired you or helped you become the person you are today. Obviously, you've been on the show a few times in the past, but since your life has changed so drastically in the last couple years since you've been on, is there somebody new that has helped you that maybe was unexpected?
and I can just shout anybody out.
Yeah.
I got a friend, and his name is Scott Hatch, and I met him at I work out at like a local rec center. And it's just like a small little dingy gym, but it's awesome. It's cool. And I met this guy there, and he's become my friend, and we're gonna train. We're gonna do one of those high rocks competitions together, whatever.
Okay.
And it's like, it's just been I was training by myself for so long, and that's, you know, it's cool and it's necessary sometimes. But anyways, this dude has become like I got like a gym bro. I got a gym bro here in Missouri finally, like, and he did 20 years in the Air Force, and now he's just a cool guy, and he's helped me like keep fitness fun. And even though I'm training to like go win this fucking world championship, whatever, like I'm in there doing my workout, but it's headphones off and we're talking.
Yeah.
And usually we're talking about like baking cookies because he likes to bake and stuff like that. So we're like, yeah. So it's fun. His name's Scott Hatch, and he's a cool dude, and he's I don't, you know, clearly I'm not going to like tell him, but he's helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean,
you know,
they'll hear about it, but
that
like,
would
yeah,
be-
you're not going to tell him to his
Yeah.
face.
No, that
right,
would be
yeah.
gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. You
Keep
can-
that to yourself.
you
Bury that
can't-
way down deep
You
inside.
can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't say nice things to
No.
your male friends. That's weird.
No, yeah.
I
Yep,
do not
so-
approve.
And plus, finding a friend as a male this late in life,
Yeah.
is also
For real,
tough.
you know, yeah. And but shit, man, that shit's important. You know, it's funny. And so even like whatever we all know me, but you know, like the internet stuff, and it's like even I need that shit.
Yeah,
Just like
we all do.
just like a normal ass motherfucking friend.
We all do,
you know? Yeah.
Well, that's
yeah.
the thing, is that we're all normal, and the achievements are, that's what makes them notable.
Yeah.
If you were like, LeBron James is a very good basketball player, one of the greatest of all time, right? But if somebody my size had done what he did, that would be quite
Yeah.
a bit more impressive, right?
Yeah.
So not to say that what he did has done rather and continues to do isn't impressive, but that the fact that we are all basically normal and simply in charge of our effort when we accomplish something, that's what makes it notable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why people, it's why I've never been starstruck once in my life.
Yeah.
Because that's just a dude that figured some shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's impressive to me. That's something I want to learn from, but it's not something I'm stunned by.
Yeah, and I use that line of thinking like, so when I'm in like a hard workout and I'm like, my like you get a little whiny or something like that. I'm like, of course it's hard. Look at you, dude, because it's like I'm just a guy. When I say I'm just a normal, like it's like just a But I was actually. Do you follow the NBA Finals right now?
Oh yeah. We watched the game last night.
So
I
like,
made
you're like,
$5,000
you know
last
what?
night.
I got more homies at the gym because like my friend Garrett. And I just gave him he had never tried the first Phorm combination. If you mix the CTC with the Loop-De-Fruit Formula 1, you get an Apple Jacks flavor.
Yep.
But anyways, he's a diehard Pacers fan. And so I checked, I've just been meeting guys at this local rec center.
God
so
damn,
it's
it was a great
like,
game last night.
So like, yeah. He wasn't there this morning probably because he was up late.
Oh, y'all won a lot of money on that game last night.
His team,
Homeboy, shit, one of
yeah,
our listeners.
they're like
they're other
massive
listeners.
underdogs, right?
Yeah,
Or like
yeah,
Oklahoma City's
it was
heavily
a
favored.
9.5 point spread, and then we said on the show, I've had a five game win streak here on fake news, and I said, look, let's take the Pacers plus the points and the 9.5, and then sprinkle the money line. You just took the money line.
I went
straight
full
up.
retard
Yes.
on the money line, yeah,
He
because
did.
I knew they were going to win. Although the way
I did not.
I did not expect it the way that it happened.
I was happy with both results, and we all won a lot of money.
Nice.
And then one of our listeners came up and gave me a half a glass of Jaeger.
Oh, good.
Oh,
to
God.
celebrate.
Oh,
He was a
good.
diehard
Oh, good.
Pacers
So it's like
fan.
more than
But why
I was
Jaeger?
like,
Everything.
I
Give me
Yeah.
some fucking Basil Hayden or something.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, is that you?
That's
God
fine.
damn, dude. And I
Delco's
was
a piece of shit.
Yeah. So if you look in my eyes today, that's a Jaeger look of death in my eyes.
You know what's funny
it's
is
not great.
with that cherry limeade first Phorm energy drink, Jaeger tastes pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right.
Not that I'm telling you to mix stimulants and depressants together,
Exactly.
but I am because it tastes.
But
like-
Four Loko did.
That was like one of my first Army experiences. I showed up and like one of the guys on CQ, he was older or something. He was doing like Eno Exploding fucking vodka or some shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you remember-
I have found my people.
Yeah.
You know, like,
there
yeah.
were two notable ones for me. One was Grimm's 21st birthday, which was the night before a division run.
Okay.
And we all got fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And then the other one was obviously that that Busch Gardens trip.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
we,
that was a fucking
Yeah.
We've been looking for you all day.
We all
They
got
were looking
kicked.
for a guy in a hula skirt.
Yeah, he was in
That
a
is still infamous
he had a
in this show
hula
when you guys
skirt
told
and a
that
fucking
shit.
blonde mullet wig. He was pissing on everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, he just walked down a hill and started pissing. I'm like, dude, people can fucking see you. They're right here. He's like, they can't see me. Because the lines for the bathroom were long. That was more of a Busch Gardens problem, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Better
agree.
bathrooms and none of that shit would have ever
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
And I want to correct you. Earlier, you said you've never been Star Trek. That's not true. Casey Anthony.
Okay.
Because obviously she got a stateside, and Dan's never had that.
Yeah,
So.
I'll get one eventually.
Yeah, eventually, but that's the only person who's been starstruck.
But not
by, you know?
my own child, probably.
No. But you never know.
TBD. Yeah.
Leave it open. Leave it open. Either way, man, it's been great seeing you again, hanging out with you, and again, you're one of those friends that I feel like I see you. It's the same as 10 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
We love you. It's great to see you happy.
Thanks.
And take your time with the internet bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's all good, and I appreciate you guys inviting me. It's good seeing you too, and just like you said, it's like, and it's nice to have friends like this where you just know it's like I don't need to keep in touch with that motherfucker.
Yeah.
because next time I see him in 1, 2, 5, 6 years, it's all good. Like nobody, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so
No,
I knew
this
you were
was-
going
this
through
was
some
fun.
shit, and
Thank
it's
you.
like,
Yeah.
dude, I know you don't want 200 text messages of
Yeah.
like, are you okay?
Yeah,
Do you need anything or whatever? And it's
we're,
just
we're
like,
men.
I know you're
and,
okay.
You know, if yeah.
I know you're okay.
Yeah.
You will always be okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I love you, buddy. Thanks
Love you
for
too,
being here, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Go to Spotify, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to iTunes, leave a 5-star and a review over there. Video is on Spotify. Quick reminder, sign that deal with the entire network, and they're slowly putting up the back catalog as we speak. It's 4,000 episodes, so give us some time. Thanks again to First Phorm for having us. beautiful facility. We've had a fantastic weekend here at Summer Smash. For D'Anthony Hollaway, Derek Weida, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.